That's crazy. I did it. I submitted my application to register the LLC, Murphy Rose and Company. I am officially a business owner.
Oh my god. Don't mind how I look. I just got back from the gym. I'm so excited. This is crazy. It's kind of scary because I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully everything on my application is okay. I think I just did the normal filing process. I didn't do expedited, so we should hear back in a few days whether my application was accepted. So I guess I'm not officially a business owner yet, but we're close. This is crazy. I'll give you an update if my application is accepted or not. Hopefully it is, because it was $100 to submit this application, and hopefully I don't have to repay that. There is one more thing that I wanted to do before I started selling. Not selling, but before I started posting on social media that I'm starting this business, is I wanted to buy my domain name, just in case anyone out there had the bright idea to buy it before I did. I think it's gonna be a minute before I set up my website, and it, like I mentioned in my first video, I'm gonna start on Etsy just to get my feet under me, get in the process of making products and selling products, but I'm definitely interested in setting up my own website. So I'm gonna go through Squarespace and I'm gonna buy my domain, and it looks like I'm lucky and it's available, and it's only $20 a year, it looks like, which is pretty good. Looks like the first year is $14, so it's a total of $35, which that's pretty good for 2 years. So this is so cool. This is so cool. I feel like it's happening. I've been putting this stuff off of registering my business and getting the domain because it's a bit of an investment and it kind of feels real now. It doesn't feel like a project that's in my head, which means now I have to actually post something on YouTube and follow through. I can't back out now. Like, I've already submitted my application to the state of Georgia. They can't know if I decide, just kidding, I don't want to do this. Anyways, I'm buying my domain. I'll check in if something else happens during the setup. All right. Bad news. I got an email today that my LLC filing was not accepted. In fact, it was rejected. And that's kind of a bummer because now I'm out $100 and I have to figure out how to fix the problem. They say it got rejected because the address I provided was a PO box, and I can't have my registered agent's office be a PO box, which sucks. And to be honest, I had a feeling this would happen, but I thought that was the difference between a USPS mailbox and a UPS mailbox. I thought the UPS service provided an actual physical address, so that's why I went with that one. Even though it was a little bit more expensive than a typical PO box, because I thought I could use that to register with. But turns out I was mistaken and I was wrong, which is okay. It's just gonna require a little bit more research on my part to figure out what I need to do to fix it. I've done a little bit of research, but I haven't found a great solution yet. So typically the options are I could go through something like Zen Business or LegalZoom or Taylor Brands, like those services that I'm sure you guys have heard of. But every time I look at the pricing of those, they charge anywhere between like $200, $300, $400 a year just for this registered agent service that they provide, which feels like too much. You know? Feels like too much. You know, this is just gonna be a one-woman shop from my apartment. And the thing that really sucks is I don't mind being my own registered agent. A registered agent, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't know till doing research, is just someone who is able to receive legal documents for business, right? So my dilemma is, like, I have no problem being that person. Ideally, it'd be me. I don't really need to hire someone to do it. But the problem is you have to put their address on the government website. And I don't want my personal home apartment address to be but so easily found, especially since I'm going to be using like YouTube and social media to promote this business, and I don't want the internet to be able to figure out where I live. You know, I have a cat to protect. We can't let anything happen to Murph Man. So what that means is if I can't use a PO box, which I was really hoping I could use my UPS mailbox for, means I'm gonna have to hire a third-party service and go that way. From my research, I should be able to do it around $100 a year, which really isn't that bad. That's less than $10 a month if you break it out. But I need to do a little bit more research because everything that I find just feels really scammy. It feels like people are just trying to nickel and dime you left and right. There's a lot of legal jargon that I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how to understand. It's also kind of scary signing up to a random business to accept legal paperwork on my behalf, because it's like, do I trust them? Do I trust them to forward me the mail in time? I don't know. I just would much rather it be me. I get why they would do it. They want a physical address to ensure that someone is there to accept paperwork, like in case you get sued or something. You would think in this day and age they would set up a way through the government to make it easy, if it's just a strictly online business, to like protect business owners' addresses. You would think that would be a thing. Anyways, bum news, a little bit of a setback. I'm out $100. I got some more research to do, but I'm sure I can figure out a solution. I just gotta sit down for a few hours and look into it. I'll check in with you if I figure out what I'm gonna do and make a decision.
Hello. All right, update time. Today is March 4th, and a lot has happened since the last time I checked in, so let me walk you through it. I figured out my registered agent issues. I went through a service called Northwest Registered Agents. They had really good reviews on Reddit. But what I liked about that company is you can pick and choose the services that you wanted. You didn't have to file your LLC through them. You could just hire them to be a registered agent. They also helped me submit the BOI report, which is a completely different form that I didn't know about, that essentially it's the government's way of protecting itself against companies that are just set up to launder money. So those two things I hired with the Northwest Registered Agents. So far, I really like them. They've been really helpful, and they pretty much just sent me a address that I could use on my forms to which I can register my LLC. So I am now officially an owner of an LLC, which is super exciting stuff. I ended up not having to repay that $100 filing fee to the state of Georgia, which was so nice. I was thinking I was going to have to do that. And the registered agent fee cost about, I think it was $150 total for the year, and that's a yearly service. So we'll revisit it in a year, see if I like the service, see if I want to continue with it. But that was a much better price than the $400 or $500 that other companies were going to charge me. So I was happy with that. I'm happy I figured that out. Additional updates. Oh, then I used that information once I registered my LLC, is I got an EIN number through the government. Now, this I don't have any footage of, but I can kind of explain what I did. And it was actually really easy. But once you have your LLC, once it's registered for the state, you go into the IRS website, fill out this form with all of your information. And it was nice because after doing some research, all of the information you put on this form is private. The IRS isn't supposed to share it with people. So you don't have to really worry about your information being publicly accessible. And then literally within like an hour, they sent me a confirmation success. Actually, it took way less than an hour. Literally within like 20 minutes, they sent me a confirmation email that my request went through, and they gave me an EIN number. So we are official. We are an official business, which is, I'm so excited. This is a huge milestone. I have yet to set up a bank account, which I need to do with this new EIN number. And I really need to get going on setting up inventory. That is going to be next, setting up for my shop. But we've already overcome a lot of the gross back end complications. Yeah, at the end of the day, the process of getting an LLC is relatively simple, but it takes some research, it takes some digging, and you'd be surprised about how many really scammy websites and services that are out there that people are trying to offer you and get your money through. Hopefully, I have things set up correctly. Fingers crossed. And if I have anything wrong, I'll figure it out and we can make adjustments as we go. But I think we're in a good spot to start setting up shop. This is so exciting. Okay. Hello. I have another exciting update, and that is packaging. Let me just show you what I've got. Let me show you. Let's do a packaging haul. Fun. All right, so we have a couple options that I'm not sure what was best, so I got a couple. And first up, I have these, albeit smaller than expected, but these are bubble poly mailers. So they're little envelopes that have a sticky seal right here that you can wrap the product in, stick in here, seal it, and ship it off. I liked this option because they're small, they're really lightweight. I think it'll be relatively cheap with shipping. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out as we go. And they're padded, right? They have bubbles, like bubble wrap inside. And I think these will actually be good for some of my smaller products. Like I'm thinking the keychain and the magnets can be shipped in these. If it's not enough protection, we can use something else. But I got some of these. I really like the color on these. They're a little more of a blue-green than my brand colors, but for something that I can just buy off of Amazon for pretty cheap and get these really fast, I thought it was a good option to just check out and see if they work. What I don't think these will be good for are our bigger pieces. I don't think it's enough padding, I don't think it's enough support, and I think we need something a little bit more robust. So, I saw a couple other small businesses order their boxes from a company called Uline. To be honest, when I was digging around for prices of boxes, these had very competitive prices, and the shipping was very fast. I wanted to try and keep my boxes or packaging as small as possible. Uline has so many different sizes of boxes, and look what I found. Isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? Probably not because it's just a box, but I thought this was a perfect solution. So this is I think it's a 6 by 6 by 2 inches tall box. They're less than $1 per box, which is great because shipping is going to be expensive. Like it or not, shipping is going to be expensive, and I, as a customer, hate paying for shipping, and so I'm sure other people do as well. So I wanted to limit the price of shipping as much as I possibly can. I think this will be perfect for our window hangs and car hangs, and I'm sure I can come up with other products in the future as well that'll be roughly this size that we can use to ship. I also liked that this cardboard, let me just show you how thick it is. I like the thickness of it. I didn't want anything super flimsy. The thing with glass is it's really susceptible to breaking from pressure. Let's say it was in the shipping truck and they put a bunch of boxes on top of each other. I didn't want it to collapse under a significant amount of weight. And I can decorate it with stickers. I still want to get branding stickers. That's something I want to do in the future to make this box look extra cute, but I'm really happy with this. I think this will be perfect. I also bought a pack of tissue paper, which is probably not the most cost effective. I just bought it off of Amazon, but I liked the black color. I thought it looked nice with the green, and I thought it was pretty neutral, that we can snazz up with different like stickers and other branding and packaging. So, and then I got some of this honeycomb paper, which if you don't know what this is, I didn't either for a long time, but this is a more sustainable replacement than plastic bubble wrap. So this paper pulls apart and it gets a lot of volume. I plan to use to wrap my glass pieces in and to fill up the extra space within the box. And it just helps with stability during packaging. So in total, these set of, I believe I have 25 boxes here. They cost, I think after shipping, after taxes, I think it was about $30. A box of these mailers, I've got, I can't remember is in here. This is like 50, I think. This was really cheap. This was like 10 bucks. And then this was $15. And then the tissue paper was about $5. So all in all, I think we have a good start to packaging. I still want to get branded stickers and I want to write like thank you notes. And I want to snazz up the box a little bit such that you know what's in here when it gets delivered. And it's not just a random brown box. Oh, I also want to mention that for the past several months, 3 or 4 months, I've just been keeping any Amazon boxes I have or packing supplies that I get in the mail. Like if I order anything through Amazon, I'll save the box or packing peanuts, all of which I plan to reuse. So that'll also help with sustainability and that'll help too with different sized orders if it ever comes to that. So I plan to reuse as much as I can, and I'm always interested in trying to figure out how to be more sustainable. So if there's any suggestions, let me know. All right, it's been a couple weeks since the last clip that you saw. Today is April 21st, and I'm not gonna lie, in the last couple weeks, I've had other priority things come up that made me put this project more on the side. Work got busy, had a couple trips to attend to, just, you know, personal stuff, life, and that's okay. The nice thing about this is what I'm doing is I'm trying not to hold myself to strict timelines. This is just in my free time when I want something to do other than doom scroll on my phone. I'm back at it. I've made a lot of progress. Mostly in the past few weeks, I've been working on inventory, which will actually be the next video that you see, is prepping all the inventory for my shop launch. And we still have a little bit more work to do before we can actually put something online to sell. But I'll talk to you about all of that stuff in coming videos. I wanted to hop on here because I was editing the video that you just watched and I realized I didn't have an outro. I didn't have anything to wrap it up. So if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be great. That feels really dumb to say. But yeah, I hope you're having fun following along on this journey. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.